All right, there we go. Welcome to a show where politics is a joke. It's PoliTicKING, and I'm your host, Tony King. We are so glad you are joining us tonight. We have a great show for you, so you definitely want to stick around through the whole thing, not just part of it. But of course, you know, there's so much craziness going on in the world, and we have to start our show out like we always do. The serious, unserious news. Let's go. Woo, that audience is on it, boy. In a new CBS News poll published this week, 51% of all respondents said that they would cast their ballot for former President Donald Trump, as 48% of respondents said they would vote for President Biden. While 100% of all those polls said, can't anybody else run? I mean, seriously, nobody's excited about Trump versus Biden 2, Electric Boogaloo? Come on. This is leaving some from the DCCC hoping that someone else enters the race to offer a primary challenge to President Biden. Enter Bernie Sanders. Though he hasn't shot down the idea of running for another unsuccessful presidential campaign, he has done what most challengers do when they plan a presidential run. He has released a book which details his anger for capitalism. And the title of that new book, It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism, which you can buy for $15 on Amazon. You know, I applaud Bernie Sanders. He hates capitalism so much, he's willing to sell you a book telling you just how much he hates it. But anyway, Democrats are not the only ones hoping for a realistic challenge for the presidency. The GOP is hoping someone other than Trump wins the nomination as well. Why? Because who wants a president with more federal charges than Young Thug? Though the field is crowded, there may be one Republican challenger to Trump who's gaining on his heels. And when I say gaining on his heels, I mean literally gaining on his heels. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made news this week over speculations that he's been wearing high-heel boots to make him appear taller. Ron, if you're gonna be a man wearing high-heel boots, at least be able to sing Purple Rain in them. It is suspected that he's trying to compare to the 6'3" Donald Trump. And if you're asking yourself, Ron DeSantis is listed at 5'11", which really means he's 5'9". Because if you're really 5'11", you're going to say you're 6'1". That's just how it goes. When it comes to height, you go up 2 inches. When it comes to pounds, you go down 40 pounds. I mean, think about it. Donald Trump says that he is 235. Does this look like a man that's 235? And just for clarification, this man is 235. Now, do they look alike? More is coming out about Louisiana Congressman and newest Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, or as we call him here on the show, MAGA Mike. News is coming out that he doesn't even have a bank account. How do you cash your Congress checks, man? Like, do you just go to the corner store and cash your check and get a Black and Mile or something? Like, I don't believe it. So you don't have a Netflix, a Hulu, or none of that, huh? So MAGA Mike is just out here getting paid on Cash App. I find that hard to believe. And in state news, a recent poll came out that said that Louisiana sports fans are the second most stressed sports fans in the nation. The second most? Between the Saints and LSU football and Southern football and, no, not Grambling. Hell, even high school football. I've even seen fights at Little League football games, and you mean to tell me that there are more stressed fans than us? I mean, first of all, we couldn't even win that. Let me see this list. Let me just see who beat us. Idaho. They got sports in Idaho? I thought all they had were potatoes. Who else is on this list? Utah. West Virginia, Maine. Maine is still a state. We ain't sold them back to Canada yet. Man. Okay, and in local news, Mayor Broome has designated the month of November as Veterans Month. Throughout the month, veterans can expect to receive things like discounts at local restaurants. But these discounts only apply if you served in the actual military. Mayor Broome says that it doesn't count if you are, quote, a no-limit soldier. She says she understands that cash money is an army, better yet a Navy, but you don't get the discount. And finally, a Japanese man was arrested after dating more than 35 women at once just to get birthday gifts. Takashi Miyagawa allegedly dated 35 women at once, stating that he wanted relationships with all of them and gave them different dates for his birthdays just so he could receive gifts all throughout the year. First off, I want to say, free this man. This man is a genius. Some heroes wear capes, others are named Takashi Miyagawa. And that's going to do it for our Seriously Unserious News Report. Stay tuned. We have more on the way with our panel. And of course, we will be sitting down talking with Pastor Fred Jeff Smith. And you don't want to miss this. And we have information on how you can get a free PoliTicKIng prize pack. It's PoliTicKIng with Tony King and the greatest audience ever.
Phoenix Air Spa provides its customers with a soothing environment and comparable professional services. And extraordinary results. Relax, recharge, and re-emerge anew at Phoenix Air Spa, always aesthetically you.
Staff and faculty treated my kids like they were their own.
Shiloh is a place where, you know, your kids can come and be themselves.
The staff is very open to things that the parents have to say.
To enroll your child in Shiloh's Early Learning Academy, call 225-343-4734.
We have got to find new ways to increase our revenue.
Sir, we can increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Yeah, so does anybody else have an idea?
We can clearly increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Great idea.
Has this ever happened to you?
Make a bold statement. Upgrade your wardrobe at Super Cool Fashions.
Thanks, Super Cool.
Super Cool Fashions located at 6180 Airline Highway.
What's up? This is your girl Megan Good, and I want to give a shout out to Mad Game ENT.
It's the only way I know it's time for us to be back on the air. It is a show that debates very serious topics, like whether sugar goes on grits or not.
No. It does not.
It's PoliTicKIng. Yours truly, Tony King, and I am here with my first guest. He is the host of the Staying in Prayer segment, as well as A Time of Harvest and A Closer Look, both airing on Sundays on KZUP. And he is also the pastor of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. Everyone, please welcome Pastor Fred Jeff Smith. First question.
Yes.
Serious topic.
Yes.
Sugar on grits or not?
Absolutely not.
There we go.
Without question.
I agree. Who does that?
My wife, and she's from Kansas City, Missouri.
I knew it was people from the north. Only people from the north
Yeah.
will do that. I was going to say Shreveport, but Kansas City is the same thing.
Yes.
Practically the same place.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of jelly dough?
On grits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see all kinds of crazy things put on grits.
See.
The way my grandmother made grits, it was butter, salt, and the grits.
See, that's how normal people do it.
Yeah.
Sane people.
Yeah.
People from Fort Worth, they do jelly. So it's neither here nor there. So, so glad to have you on the show finally.
Glad to be here.
Yes. So glad to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And it's truly a pleasure. You know, we can talk forever.
Sure.
As we have done plenty of times.
Yes, sir.
One reason why I wanted to have you on the show is because beyond just being a faith leader, you know, one who of course delivers the gospel, spreads the word, the good news to everyone who can hear your voice on the multiple platforms, multiple television shows, a Thrive podcast. You got a lot of jobs. That's neither here nor there.
Trying to get it out there.
And you're doing that. One thing that I've had some questions about is with the recent conflict in Israel. You know, the Gaza Strip, we have Hamas and Israel, major conflict, lives are being lost, and you've seen people, you know, especially in entertainment, who've taken one position. You've had other people taking other positions. It's either Israel's right, you know, Hamas is wrong, or, you know, and I'm a little confused as to why this is so important to us. Can you explain that to me?
Money, oil.
Wow.
It's more about oil and money and militarism than it is about anything else. Don't pay attention to anybody who tells you that this is how Jesus is going to come back. We have to hold on to Israel so that the Lord can return. If Jesus needs us to come back, then Jesus ain't the Jesus that I preach about.
And I'm glad. And the reason why is, and I love the Lord. He heard my cry. He know my heart. But I'm not ready for the Lord to come back yet. And that's just me personally, because I still have some more sinning to do. And so, but we hear, especially from the evangelical right, and not to, you know, to specialize, we hear a lot of linking that to the Christian faith. You're saying that that's not the case.
I'm saying that as I understand Scripture, the nation of Israel that exists now is not the biblical Israel. It's not even the Old Testament Israel, but it's certainly not the New Testament Israel. If you read the New Testament, Paul and the writer of Hebrews say that anyone who believes in Jesus Christ is a descendant of Abraham, which makes all of us Israel. From an Old Testament perspective, the talk about the restoration of the land and the covenant and things of that sort have a place, but that's not the Israel of history. Israel did not exist before 1948. From 586 BC until, 70 AD, with the fall of Masada, there has not been an Israel until 1948. And Israel came about because of the Holocaust and people seeking refuge, people saying that they needed to have their own homeland. And so Allied forces decided to carve out a land and say that this is Israel. Problem is there were people on the land. And they humiliated, killed, destroyed a nation of people in order to make an occupied territory that is called Israel. And since 1948, they have done horrific things to Palestinians who resided in the area in order to maintain their land. Now, that is not to say that Israel does not have a right to exist. America has carved out all kinds of lands for all kinds of people. So that's their history. They're there. What Hamas did was a terrible thing, a cruel, ugly, evil thing. But put it within the context of what has been taking place since 1948. I don't believe in violence of any sort, but I can certainly understand why people who have been so mistreated for so long a period of time might resort to violence in order to try to seek relief from the suffering that they have gone through. And if you look at all of the video that comes through, not just the video that
on
shows
one station or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at all the video that's come through, the atrocities that Israel is committing to Gaza is certainly equal to the atrocities that Hamas committed to Israel. And I say in my Bible study, I don't need to quote a verse in the Bible. I'll quote the gospel of my mother. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
So I just don't see how we can justify violence against one people by committing violence against another.
You know who else said two wrongs don't make a right? Eddie Kane Jr. from the Five Heartbeats. So you said that, and you brought up a good point about your about the Bible study and about various other platforms that you're on. You've been very outspoken about, hey, these are both two wrongs. Whenever we hear most mainstream media speak about it, they're only speaking that Hamas is wrong.
Right.
You're one of the very few, not just in media, through your own shows, but also from a faith perspective, saying, hey, what Israel's doing back as well, that's equally as wrong. You're one of the very few. Why is that?
I don't understand how anyone who claims Jesus as their savior can advocate violence. Jesus was nonviolent. And so you can't claim the love of Christ as a platform for committing violence against other people.
Yeah.
I steadfastly believe that there is the gospel of the oppressed and the gospel of the oppressor. And the gospel of the oppressor is designed to maintain what they have.
Yeah.
That's what Christian conservatism is all about, using scripture in order to maintain what they have. And it galls me that they would bastardize the gospel in the way that they have in order to try to gain a political position and to advocate militarism and to advocate manifest destiny, all of which are Western concepts and have nothing to do with the scripture.
So have you had anyone from the faith community actually talk to you about some of your positions and you expressing them?
No.
Nobody?
No.
They haven't said anything?
I get emails from time to time where people want to take issue with what I have to say, and they have a right to take an issue. As I used to say to my sister, you have the right to be wrong. That's fine.
So what is your charge then moving forward as we continue to,
My hope is that militarism will take a back seat and diplomacy will take a step forward. I was very hopeful that the Biden administration, in addition to saying that Israel has a right to exist, would also say that Palestinians have a right to protect themselves and they have the same rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that all people have. And maybe instead of sending missiles, we send diplomats in there to try to work out a solution. Jimmy Carter tried to do this back in the 70s.
As in the 1970s?
In the 1970s.
Oh, okay.
And he accomplished more in his presidency with regard to Middle East peace than anyone else has since then.
And the American people rewarded him with one term?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes.
Hard worker.
Yeah.
So the big thing I want to ask you is, well, then moving forward, okay, head and heart, what do you think we're really going to do? Now, you just said what your heart is. You hope we send diplomats. What is your head telling you we're going to do?
I think that this is not a direct answer to your question. I think that if President Biden is not careful, this is going to cost him re-election next year, because Palestinians voted in favor of Biden.
Yeah. Battleground state, Michigan.
And to see the way that he has come out full force behind Israel. He'll give a passing glance to the Palestinian situation, but he's full force behind Israel, and I think he's losing votes every time he does that. Every time you see pictures of hospitals that are bombed and children that are killed, and you see grieving parents over their dead offspring's bodies, I think he's losing votes.
Well, here's one thing that I want to ask too, okay? I understand from a diplomacy perspective what we hope may happen, and I know that they are a strategic ally in the area, but really, why do we care so much outside of that?
Money and oil. It's always about money and oil. And I heard someone say, I can't recall where I heard it, but I heard someone say that there is discussion about building a new canal in that region of the country, and that they need Gaza, they need the territory surrounding Gaza in order for this canal to be built. And so, in addition to money and oil, let's add militarism to that.
So if it continues on, and let's say Biden takes the position that he has, then what you're saying is that we're just destined and doomed for a Trump administration.
I'm afraid.
Because then in that case, Jesus can come back at that time.
Well, I really hope that America is smart enough not to reelect Donald Trump.
You said smart enough.
Yes,
Okay.
I hope. But my fear is that if it comes down to Biden versus Trump, and Biden continues down this path with regard to the Middle East, that Trump has a real shot at winning. I'm hoping every day that a state court convicts Donald Trump. And
of the 1 million charges he has.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
They've taken an incredibly long time to get a conviction.
And you know, at worst case scenario, you know, we can always just continue staying in prayer. You like that segue?
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And shedding some light on the situation. Now I feel like I can actually take, you know, a real perspective and an educated opinion on it. So I definitely appreciate that. You want to stick around? We have more on the way right here with PoliTicKIng. And like we said, man, another chance for you to get some nice PoliTicKIng gear. It's PoliTicKIng with the livest audience. Right on cue. Stay tuned.
Advertising and operating a business go hand in hand. Mad Game Entertainment has a long, detailed history of working within clients' budgets and delivering big results. Mad Game helped launch the popular Go Vote app. We've been involved with several successful political campaigns. We assist the everyday marketing needs for small businesses and many other organizations. We custom fit marketing plans for the largest budget and the most modest. We look forward to enhancing your presence in your industry.
Still holding on. Welcome back to a show that is so absurd it's been mistaken for Congress. It's PoliTicKIng. A young Gen Zer made headlines recently with a TikTok video where they were asking Apple to do away with the meat emoji because it's offensive and triggering to vegans and non-meat eaters.
Those emojis honestly should be illegal. I've been emailing Apple every single day to remove the meat emojis from the iPhone.
So you want the whole world to bend to you because of what? Because you're a vegan? You know how many people are vegans? According to the most recent study, only 3% are vegans. There are more people who have one leg longer than the other. It's true. Y'all can look that up. It's true. But question, are you really triggered by a meat emoji sent to you through your phone? Really? Because I would only be triggered if a meat pic was sent through mine. Pause. I'm tired of this. We have to do something about this word, triggered. This word just really triggers me. The minute something happens in life that you don't like, all of a sudden you are triggered. Now, don't get me wrong. I know things happen in life that are tough. But Starbucks not spelling your name right on your cup, that's not triggering. You just don't like it. No Wi-Fi? It's not triggering, just inconvenient. You telling me that the ice cream machine is broke at McDonald's? Now that's triggering. It's always broke. But even that is just a speed bump. It's not an impenetrable wall. We have to do away with these weak words. Triggered. And what's the other one? That's offensive. That's so offensive. That's offensive. And in my profession in comedy, I hear it all the time. A joke, that's offensive. No, hate speech is offensive. Something you don't like is just that. Something you don't like. And that's okay. You don't have to like everything, and it can still be good. Think about it. Blueprint by Jay-Z is one of the greatest rap albums ever. It's certified platinum, recognized by many as a seminal work of art. So many hits all on one album. But be honest, you don't like the song All I Need. Now, are you triggered? No. You just skip it because the next song is Renegade. Hands down, some of the best bars in hip hop. And that's just like life. Unless something hinders you or harms your personal being, just skip it and keep moving. Because the real classic is coming next. It's PoliTicKIng. We'll be back with our panel. Stay tuned.
Mad Game ENT.
Mad Game ENT. Mad Game TV.
Mad Game Entertainment.
Mad Game Entertainment. Mad Game Entertainment.
Mad Game Entertainment.
Mad Game Entertainment. Stay tuned, homie.
It's Friday night, and you're now clocked in on the late shift with Will Merrow.
And this Mad Game presents Friday Night Flows. Let's kick it off like this, baby.
Laugh now, laugh later.
And lock it in. We'll be right back with more cocktails, conversations, and me.
JK Lee Sports. Watching this on YouTube? Make sure you click that like and subscribe button on the MGE network. Holla.
Welcome back to a show where the audience got their phone on full volume. Don't ask me how I know. It's PoliTicKIng. Yours truly, Tony King here. And we are here with our panel, our first guest. The off-the-air stuff is the best. We have the host of Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed and also has the host of the game show that is expected to be at the Sullivan Theater. Give it up for Spenser Hunt, everybody. Spenser! And our next guest is the former media director at the Associated Press and currently serves as the CEO of Life Skills Unlimited. We have Anita Muhammad.
Let's keep it unserious. I don't know nothing about no Gaza.
Okay, there we go. Okay. We don't know nothing about Gaza.
Yeah.
But no, real quick. So, you know, of course, this is PoliTicKIng. We talk a little politics, politics, pop culture, everything in between. Politically, how are we doing? Where do we land?
Dumpster fire?
Okay, I'm with that.
Is that fine?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. But personally, how do we align personally? And I know we can't really talk about that. You can ask any other question but that.
I'm independent.
Independent.
Yes.
Okay.
All my thoughts are mine, and I follow the beat of my own drum.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't watch the news?
I do.
Yeah.
Relegated to independence, anyway.
Relegated.
It's unfortunate. The news kind of makes you sad. And I get it. Spencer, how are we leaning?
Yeah, I mean, again, trying to pick the best out of the dumpster fire there's no win there, right? But I try to stay educated. I try to stay up with current events. But at the end of the day, I announce wrestling and I'm a game show host, so I don't know where my political allegiance fits in that world. No one wants to hear that while I'm asking trivia questions.
And I get it, because really, I sit up here every day and don't really give y'all anything that I believe. I let y'all give it. And I let y'all get canceled. They not canceling me for my beliefs. So here's the thing. We were talking off the air, and we were just talking about things like energy, and of course, Pastor Fred Jeff was, speaking about oil and things like that. Oftentimes, when we have people that are trying to be more socially conscious, the first thing they'll talk about is the environment, right? And how do we feel about that? I don't know how I feel yet about these electric cars. I'm not really there yet. I don't know. I just...
Well, I recently saw a little clip about these electric cars, and one thing I do know about them is that they're losing their value as soon as you take them off the lot.
That's a regular car.
But is it half of its value?
Oh, half of the value?
Yeah, I saw a video this week about that.
So the reason that I'm, just a little skeptical about it is because I remember when I was younger, I used to ask my mama for remote control cars for Christmas.
Yeah. Love those.
And, you put the batteries in, and you don't get much time out of it. Maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes. But before it's all over with, the battery runs out, and now you're like, man, I ain't even got no car. I just don't want that as an adult.
Toss the trash.
Yeah, similarly to what Anita was saying, as soon as you take that remote control out of the box, it's lost half its value.
Exactly.
Right, like almost instantly.
Right.
And so I needed to ask you, we're talking about this electric car situation. It sounds like you're a little bit against them, but my question is that because they're just now making some large enough?
Well,
and this is coming from somebody 5'10", 160 based off of our metrics from earlier.
Okay, so that means you're 5'8" and
No, you don't have to go there.
So it's not just about now they're all the rage, but it's that President Biden and the Biden administration says, hey, we want to be full EV by like 2030, 2038, and all of those things. And I'm just not fully confident in them. First off, you don't get much mileage out of them. Then you got to charge them up for like 8 hours just to get another 30. That's one thing. I'm willing to bypass all of that. It's the reason that we say we want the electric cars, right?
But will we ever stop using oil, really?
You can't. That's
not happening.
That's the thing that I just can't wrap my head around, is that even as you're producing these electric cars, you're still using oil. So are you really doing anything for the environment? And I'm like, if we're not going to do anything for the environment, I might as well gas up.
It's very much what the pastor said, right? It's all about money and oil at the end of the day. That's true in this situation as well. I think that the fact is the big leap that we'd have to take in 7 years to 2030,
right?
We're nowhere close. Nowhere close. I mean, if you look, where are charging stations?
Albertsons.
If our hope lies in Albertsons, but folding in.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, it's what we say and then how hypocritical it is. It's to save the environment, okay? And everybody is like, oh, we want to be health conscious and, we want to, and I'm all for that. I want us to make sure that we have an earth here for our kids. After that, they on their own, right? And so they say, okay, well, this cuts down emissions. Well, when everyone is plugging their cars in at the same time, how are we getting that power?
Already.
That is pulling from the grid. Do we even have the infrastructure?
Can we sustain that in Louisiana? Will the grid last?
The lights go out when it's windy.
Hence, no electric cars for Anita.
Okay. I'm with you. And then the big thing, though, is that we can talk about diamonds in Africa. We can talk about all of these different things. But what is needed for these lithium batteries, no different than our cell phones, it's it's brought to us by slave labor. It's these cobalt mines in Africa where they are literally slaves. So at the end of the day, we're using slaves to get the products that we need in order to basically get a net zero. Is it really worth it?
Whenever slavery is here in the discussion,
Look, the white guy got quiet. He was like, I'll wait. I'm gonna get to the black chick named Muhammad.
Okay, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Whenever slavery is involved, it's a no-go.
Okay.
Okay, now, of course, we don't all have knowledge of that when we're walking in a phone store or any other product that we might buy. But if you start this conversation with, we're getting our products from slave labor, then there's the line.
Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to know that slaves are, making our clothes or responsible for our Nikes or making sure that, nobody wants to hear that. Like, they don't lead with that. It's just, hey, we just want the cheapest thing because Americans, we have our first world problems.
I want to know.
You want to know?
I want to know so I can make a decision.
Wow.
I do.
So let me just step in. Very carefully, if I may.
Please.
I'm going to make a quick reference to.
We'll keep it.
What was that about not canceling each other? Okay. The Good Place was a sitcom on NBC.
I remember. And I actually love that show.
Great show. But it kind of all leads to, spoiler alert, is that the system for deciding who is good or bad is broken because a decision you think is good really is not. Because if you buy an apple from somewhere, you don't know where that apple came from, right? And so you might get 2 good points, you got -5 on the back end that you don't know anything about.
Right.
And so that's exactly what you're saying, right? Like, yes, we want to know, like it would be better to know going into our decision-making process, but at the same time,
do we really want to go back to rotary phones?
It's just not the world we live in.
Correct.
It's just not the world we live in, especially if it's a car I'm not sure will make it all the way across the Causeway Bridge.
These are all good things.
My regular car might not make it past Causeway. But with that being said, I just don't know how in the long run that's going to be, and it's just really kind of hard to decide. But stay tuned right there. It's a good decision for you to stick around because we have more on the way. You'll get 5 good points on the back end, and trust me, none of the camera people are slaves. They They get paid very little. So stick around right here. It's PoliTicKIng with our panel. We'll be back.
I got this nerd bird. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, you ready, son? You ready? No. What the? Bow.
I mean, do my bow. Come in with the yeah. I mean, do my bow.
How he get her anyway?
He been bow music. Get him every time.
Oh, he said bow music.
Bow. Dance.
With the rise of racism and peace being taken from the world, it leaves a person to wonder, what's going on in the world? Sadly, these things are not going away. Read The Dog Whistleblower to find the link between racism and the coming Armageddon.
Shout out to Mad Game Entertainment. Yeah.
Welcome back to a show that has been endorsed by Congressman Garrett Graves.
What? What is happening?
But actually is not endorsed by Garrett Graves. What? It's PoliTicKIng. Yours truly, Tony King here. I'm here with my panel. We have Spencer and Anita here. And we were just talking, last segment, somehow we went from electric cars, and we made our way to slavery. And Spencer dodged it so good.
Yeah, you did good.
I mean, he did not take the slavery bait at all. We tried. Spencer, you are officially invited to the cookout. I have never seen anybody dodge the slavery bullet. We really tried it.
Someone in the audience said don't put raisins in the potato salad.
Oh, he can come to the cookout. He can't bring
I'm
no
not bringing
food,
food.
though. No. Hey, slow down now.
There's steps in this process.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
You can bring plates, not no
Plates.
So both of you all, now Spencer, you're the host of Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed. It's okay. And Anita, you yourself, we're talking about a film that we both worked on together and didn't even know it.
Didn't know it.
So both of you all have kind of a heart for entertainment. Currently, we just finished the writer's strike, which I'm happy about, thankfully.
Yes.
And now we're still in, at the time of this airing, we're still in the middle of the actor's strike. Are you thinking it's going to affect any of your favorite shows or anything, man?
There's so much TV to catch up on and so many movies. It almost feels silly to say that it will be a problem, at least for the short term. You know how long my queue is on Netflix right now?
How long?
It's exhausting. I years ago, that stuff is on there. So I've got time. They need to really stay with the process and get what they need out of this strike. I'm happy to wait.
What about you?
Too many apps, and I say pay your creatives.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like somebody who really did work on that film. Oh, yeah. Well, but here's the thing that's kind of interesting to me, though, is that, a lot of, regular people who are not necessarily in the industry kind of take the approach that Spencer is. It's kind of like, hey, I got enough to kind of keep me occupied, And then you have people that are just now, they're rerunning shows. You see the love for Suits now that everybody is on.
Yeah, for a princess.
It's like, now pretty much people aren't really tripping. It's not really a mainstream thing.
Let me tell you something. I think the reason why I feel the way that I feel is if you look at the lineup on NBC or ABC or CBS right now, Friday night, game shows.
Yeah.
Monday night, game show. The Price is Right at night. Is like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right now. So I'm good as gold. I'm happy. I'm totally content.
Plus, not to mention, PoliTicKIng is every Friday night.
Every Friday night. That's right.
Spencer almost lost his invite to the. He was this close. He dodged it again. But what about the movies, though? I mean, that's what they really say that it's gonna affect.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
My queue is pretty big too, but I want the people to get paid for their work, and I want them to get paid for those streams that I'm streaming.
Yeah.
When I binge watch, I want the creatives to get that extra little cushion that hasn't been written into their contracts. So I'm going to continue to binge.
I'm going to tell you what's funny, though. I think I have a theory. It's unconventional. I have a theory as to why they are not getting paid.
Let's hear it. Keep it unserious.
I do not.
Please.
Please.
Y'all just don't understand. It is very funny. I do not believe that the streaming networks are actually getting the amount of streams that they say that they are. And the reason that I say that is because when you think about companies like Netflix, for instance, or any of these other companies, they never ever disclose what the actual streaming numbers are. They'll just say, oh, this is the most streamed or the 8th stream. They won't really say how many streams they're really receiving.
Good
and
point.
then on top of that, if we know how it is in music, they have streaming farms. They have all these other ways that streams can be manipulated. It's something that's not tangible, so you can't touch it. It's not like an actual movie ticket where if one person buys a ticket, that's $10. And you know that 10 people bought tickets, that's a...
100. 10 times 10. 100.
It's 100.
Yeah.
That's $100. So the thing is that they don't have something that they're actually physically selling. So it's manipulated, and I think that because of that, they're also inflating the value of these companies. And if it really came out what these streams are actually doing, it'll show that they are not streaming what they think they are. That's just my unconventional theory. And another reason I say that too is because we know Taylor Swift streams 1 billion streams, right? They don't mind telling you that. Whenever the number is big, they don't mind telling you that.
Correct. So when they're silent, there is
Don't you dare ask me what my number is.
funny numbers.
Okay, I'm just saying. Just saying.
I won't.
I meant my streaming numbers. My streaming numbers.
Understood.
Okay. Streaming. So the thing is I think that whenever someone doesn't want to tell you what their numbers are, it's because the numbers are not as good as what they think or what they want want it to be believed.
Well, and it's so overcrowded, right?
Yeah.
The market is so overcrowded.
Yeah.
And the thing is even though if I'm a streaming service right now, I'm thinking, well, I'm not making new content. Well, that's fine because everyone's gonna stream Stranger Things again, or they're gonna stream How to Get Away with Murder or Suits, like you said. Like everyone's gonna watch their show for the 10th time anyway because that's sort of what
a comfort show.
It's a comfort show. Everybody's got their comfort show.
Yeah.
What's your comfort show?
How I Met Your Mother.
Really? Really?
Are you judging me?
Of the three of us.
What?
I've never seen it.
What?
I've never seen it.
I like it. Don't judge me, man. Did I just lose my pass to the cookout?
No, but we know a lot more about you than we thought we would know today.
It's a dope show, man. I like it. Anyway, but here's the thing. If they're not creating new content, then why the hell do they continue going up in the prices? Every couple of months, they are going up in pricing.
Because we will continue to pay them.
Not for too much longer.
Well, it's the same thing as the popcorn and the drink at the movies, right? Like $7 for a popcorn, 10 for a drink, whatever it is. People are still paying that more. I mean, the rebound from the pandemic is not awful.
What people? I'm walking in with a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't say that on TV.
And now you have to say it, I think.
Some of us have our candy with us.
It's a dollar store down the street. You think I'm gonna pay $8 for 2?
I said popcorn and a drink. I didn't say I'm not buying a $6 box of Raisinets.
Man, we black. We come in with foil. If you see anybody black with a big purse, just know it's a picnic in that bag.
Don't believe him. It's not true.
She just don't want to get caught. But the thing is now it's starting to affect the bottom line. So I'm kind of wondering, how long can this thing go?
Well, you know, there've been some people who have filed some lawsuits about their payments from these streaming networks, you know, like Monique and that was something to think about.
I noticed a little laugh.
Where the hell that came from?
I love Monique. I just don't think that Monique should be the one leading the charge on how to get your stream numbers, you know. I'm just saying. But, you know, just kind of keeping it with Hollywood, I know some news came out this week about Marvel really kind of struggling with their superhero franchise and that things are not really looking up. So much so that there have been rumors that they're going to reach back and start to get some of the old heads like Robert Downey Jr. to come on back to come and save this thing. What are some of your thoughts about, just what Marvel would do with that? And then on top of that,
Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Are we talking about Iron Man?
Iron Man.
I'll watch. Just saying.
Would you pay $20 to Disney Plus to watch it though?
I have Disney Plus, but I'm gonna wait until it leaves the theater and I can watch it at home.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Woo! So do theaters have a chance to survive during this time period then?
This is, a part of me says this is their moment.
Really?
Only a little bit, right? Because people love a comeback. And so, yes, it's a struggle right now, but when the new things start coming back out and when they go reach out for the Robert Downey Jr.'s, you know, everybody loves, I mean, that's why every movie that is ever successful has 2 or 3 sequels. Have you seen The Godfather?
Yes. Yes. I love The Godfather.
Yeah.
Godfather 1, Godfather 2.
No 3.
We don't mention 3.
No, we don't.
Which one is your favorite?
I mean, I would have to, the second one, probably. It's one of my favorites.
Feels like you pulled it.
Have you actually seen The Godfathers 1, 2,
I have questions.
So, I was able to dodge a bullet earlier in this interview. I might be out of touch.
Oh, you've never seen it. You dodged the slavery, but you couldn't dodge the... Well, Spencer, I tell you. Okay, last question. There have been some talks as well about, it recently came out that Mahershala Ali had declined one of the most recent scripts of Blade because he was relegated, the title character Blade was relegated to the fourth lead, and that it was an all-female cast and that it was filled with, quote, lessons, life lessons. How do we feel about life lessons and a message always being input into our
First off, Mahershala Ali needs top billing for his movie.
I'm gonna say for his acting, but I don't think that's why you're saying it.
Mahershala Ali needs...
You having some trouble with that. She's like, Marshmallow Ali? No.
Yeah, he needs top billing.
Well, of course.
Could rethink his role in a movie if he's gonna be fourth lead on a movie named after his character.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of made a point that you know, some friends and I have been talking about lately, which is the message always being, it's always a message. And do we really want entertainment that always has a message, or can we just have escapism where we just, you know, just go and just...
I'd like to keep my escapism in my movie watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't need Blade to teach me anything.
Right.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't need to learn anything from Blade. I just want to watch him kick.
Yeah. Kill vampires.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what can I say?
Wait. Have you actually seen any of the Blades?
I have seen all of the Blades, including the bad one with Triple H.
There we go. All right. He lost him, then he got him back. He's back. They love a comeback story. Okay.
But I do think there's a place for a message, right? Like Disney and Pixar, like those Pixar films that are typically geared towards younger audiences, I'm okay with the message.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to also be able to pick and choose. And if I don't want a message in my movie, I should be able to watch a Blade that doesn't teach me anything, and that's okay. It's just fun.
I'm with it too. And you know what? And that's what I want to say is that, hey, I just wish that we could go back to the good old days when we just go watch some stuff blow up, go home, sneak our food into the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying?
But Pixar makes me cry. Why am I crying watching Disney movies?
You cry?
Yeah.
Which movie have you cried in?
The one with emotions. I can't remember the name right now.
Oh, all of them. All of them. All of them. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Of course, tell them how they can get a hold of you on social media and what you got coming up next.
Please.
AP Media Exec on Twitter.
There we go.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed on YouTube and right here on Tuesday nights Unleashed.
Yes.
That's right. And Suspense Games on Facebook and Instagram. Book a game show. We're
There
here
you
for
go.
it.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We have more on the way. Top 5, stick around, man. It's Tony King. Hey.
Loud pack, I can't see right. From the dark side, I can't see right. No left turns, this check earn like IG. I'm that dude. Slick style off the top rope. Referencing 2, I'm Rick Rude.
They hate it bad, so we have. Baby girl, you got that. And I don't wanna lose it, so let's.
Gooder than my mama red beans. Have my man rocked up with your face on my screen. Little mama stepping light, I got that thing on me, and I'm stepping light. She throw that ass on me, like we sexing right. I got that bag on me, got me flexing light. Doing what she have to do, ain't no concerns. She live by the cold drink, water my yearns. All the baddies come to the flow, make it twerk to the flow real slow.
Hey, yo, this your boy Benzino, a.k.a. Zeno Grigio, and right now, you're checking out Mad Game TV.
Welcome back to a show that believes that women should receive equal pay so that we can go 50-50 on the first date. It's politicking. So a recent poll conducted by WWL in New Orleans listed out the 5 concerns facing Louisiana residents. Topping the list were issues such as crime, lack of quality education, unemployment and low economic growth, and high insurance rate, as more than 12 major insurance providers have left the state since 2016 due to the severity of storms and natural disasters. And though all of those are serious issues that face Louisianians, they left out a few more. Which brings us to tonight's top 5, the top 5 real concerns Louisianians are concerned about. Oh, they clapping good. Coming in at number 5, top 5 things Louisianians are really concerned about. Who left their baby in the car at Bella Noche? It's all over social media, and no one can figure it out. But Louisianians are definitely concerned about it. Coming in at number 4, top 5 things Louisianians are really concerned about. Why won't the Saints just start Taysom Hill? I mean, he throws all the touchdowns, he runs all of them too. Just keep him in the damn game. Just saying. Number 3, top 5 things Louisianians are really concerned about. Who made this gumbo? Newsflash. If you are not from a parish, you should not be making gumbo. And that ain't gumbo no way. That looks more like dirty rice. And also, don't trust a Cajun restaurant anywhere but here.
That's right.
Trust me. I'm from Texas. We don't know how to do Cajun. Coming in at number 2, top 5 things Louisianians are concerned about. The price of crawfish. It's almost that time, Louisiana. Just hold on, Lou. It's almost that time. It's almost here. Just hold on. And coming in at number 1, top 5 things Louisianians are really concerned about. Who all over there? Because based on who all over there determines whether I'm going to be there. And that's going to do it for tonight's show. A special thank you goes out to Pastor Fred Jeff Smith of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church, Anita Muhammad, and of course Spenser Hunt. Remember, you can catch me performing live in New Orleans with Maxwell. Yes. At the Smoothie King Center during Bayou Classic Weekend, November 24th, and in Chicago at Riddles on November 30th. Follow me on all social media. And until next show and the livest audience, we did it. We made it. Like I said, we're going to put the audience out. Boy, I see why white people complain in the movie theater now, boy. Man, they just won't be quiet. No, I'm just playing. So.